papers, Mr. Paulson Okeke. Good morning. He's a public affairs analyst. He's with us here to look at the papers. Good morning and welcome to the studios.
Yeah, good morning. Good morning, viewers. You're welcome.
All right. We'll begin with some stories that we have on ABS website. The first story we have there is farmers, traders warned against use of sniper for preservation as workshop on food security ends in Oka. Anambra government targets to boost rice production, moves to increase capacity of farmers. Alibo Development Foundation marks 5th anniversary at Umuchu, asks Ndibo to invest in Southeast. Anambra government tax road project consultants on quality job delivery. The stories we have here this morning seems heavy. I just want us to lump in the first story there and the second one because they deal with agriculture and food. Food preservation, food security has been the watchword as farmers and traders have been warned against the use of sniper for preservation. We also saw yesterday or day before yesterday when the Senate was trying to seek if the importation or manufacturing of snipers will be banned entirely. What do you have to say about this?
It's a step in the right direction because our youth, or I can say some people, have changed what snipers is actually meant for other purposes. Now, anybody who wants to commit suicide will just take a bottle of sniper and he dies. So, if government should pay attention to the use of snipers, there are other pest controls that could be used in preserving our crops and so on. So the use of sniper, the Senate measures or the National Assembly measures should be lauded because if it is a control measure, let it be.
But some people are arguing that the ban or whatsoever will just be dealing with the surface of the matter, not the real issue.
I agree with you. I agree with such argument because, like this morning, somebody in the radio station was saying, if you ban snipers, have you cleared the lagoons? Have you banned the use of rope and other things? And it becomes a very tenable argument because snipers is just one out of other steps one can take to commit suicide. So,
all right, let's now look at the dangers of some of these chemicals in the use of preservation.
Yeah.
Food preservers have adopted several means in the past just to ensure that their food lasts for a longer time. And then we are seeing some practices that are not healthy. How do we ensure that Nigerians are safe with the food they eat?
I think the only thing there is that there are food technologists that could advise us on ways to preserve food better other than using dangerous chemicals that will have effect on our body system. I don't think it is good. It is unhealthy.
All right. We also have another story there looking at investment at home. The present administration of Governor Willie Obiano has been hammering on the issue of Akuluono. And we're now seeing Alibo Development Foundation marking their 5th anniversary at Umuchu, asking Ndibo to invest in Southeast. Do you think their call is coming at the right time, or are there still also things we must do to get things better?
No, it's a clarion call. Clarion call in the sense that Igbos, if you go across the country and any other part of the world, you see Igbos making valuable contributions to the development of such areas. But back home, not everything is lacking. So if the Igbos will just take the advantage of Akulono philosophy of the present administration, somebody else, like Ezife when he was there, he called it think home. And where he called on Anambrarians to begin to think homewards. And you see, like, if you go to Lagos, for instance, the Aspanda, that's the trade fair in Lagos. If you go there and see what the Igbos put there, and I will remember when Ojukwu went to commission it, what he told the Igbos is that they should go home. Because if they put half of what they put in Lagos back home, the Igbo land will change. Therefore, it is very, very pertinent I am joining those who've been calling for Igbos to come home. Because the way Nigeria is today, nobody knows what will happen. Because Nigeria is fast moving into precipice, and we should not just fold our hands or continue to wait until they ask us to go home.
A popular industrialist once said that it is not just about telling them to come home and invest. What are these governments doing to ensure that investments at home are better? Recent release by the World Bank on ease of doing business places Anambra, Abia, and Enugu amongst the highest in Nigeria when it comes to ease of doing business. But beyond that, Anambra and these two are just few out of many in Southeast and other places where Ndibo are found. What do you think must be done correctly or properly to ensure that Alibo is a veritable ground for investments?
You see, when the government creates a conducive environment, and I think we have such environment in Anambra State, because we are ranking first in security, or if not the first, we are ranking among the first third states in security in this country. Therefore, it is enough conducive environment. Any investor wants a secured environment to invest his money, and we have it in Anambra, and we have a level playing ground as well. Sincerely, if anybody wants to invest in Anambra, we have such atmosphere prevalent for business investment. So people should come and invest. They should stop giving excuses. Some will say, how do we come here and invest when we don't have roads? But we have better roads network than other places in Anambra. So, I mean, there's no excuse for not coming to invest, I will tell you.
There are no excuses for not coming to invest. We also move on to the Daily Times now on the national front. Still on the issues of investment and money. Nigeria may collapse over 25.6 trillion naira debt, Article 1 says over 50% of nation's revenue going towards debt servicing. Beside the nameplate there, Nigeria spends 100 billion naira annually on advertising, coming from the Daily Times MD. And we have a rider, urges advertising practitioners, regulators to be more proactive in harnessing adverts. Buhari's cabinet to be ready this week. That's coming from Lawan. Tribunal extends pre-hearing session over PDP withdrawal of petition. PDM's withdrawal of petition. IATF 2020 expects over $40 billion trade deals, 110,000 participants are free Exim Bank. Reps urge Buhari to dialogue, settle tight demands. I would like us to look at those two major stories this morning on the debts that we've accrued over the years and how sustainable the kind of economy we are running is. Looking at the huge amount of debt that we have in Nigeria, what does it mean for the ordinary man on the street and for the general economy growing beyond now and going forward? We've seen statistics where it said that Nigeria has growing economy, has indices of growth, but we are seeing a huge amount like this in debt, close to 25 years of our yearly allocation or our yearly budget. How do we balance this?
My brother, I will tell you, 25 trillion naira debt is so unwholesome. Because no economy survives under huge debt. Because you keep on servicing the debts. If you have money to invest, you use it to service the debts. And with that, you cannot make progress. Honestly, when people are raising alarm, like last night when DMO releases this, I screamed myself. Because what kind of economy are we running when we should be living under heavy debt and we keep on borrowing? And this money we have borrowed had not been plowed back into the economy. Because if you plow back the money, you will see it. We'll have a buoyant economy that when we are servicing, we wouldn't feel that we are groaning under any heavy load. But in this time, the country, the poor man keeps on suffering because it has not reflected on the economy that this money has been put in the economy. Even if it is being put in the economy, it has not been properly managed to achieve the desired result. So we have a serious problem in this country because our economy cannot do any better under such heavy debt.
What do you think will be the way out? How do we get out from this?
The way out is to stop borrowing and look into the economy. Let us get experts who can draw the economy out of the woods. Because the economy we are running presently is not an economy that gives hope to anybody.
You know, when issues like this come up, and you look at the tendencies of slowing into their propositions from different angles on how we can better the life of people in Nigeria. The Central Bank of Nigeria under Godwin Emefiele has been proposing several ways of, let me say, alternatives to oil. Do you think these steps taken by by the Central Bank so far, pumping money into small-scale industries, ensuring anchor borrowers program survives, do you think it can cure all this debt?
There are good policies if they are well implemented. You see, Nigeria has never been lack of good policies, but where we have problems is in implementation.
Okay.
You see, when we diversify our economy from the oil to other sectors, agriculture, we run away from the mono economy where we are running presently, and look into investment in business and other small-scale areas. It will be the masses will be empowered, and you can see it turning around. Other than basing on oil. There are many countries that don't have oil, but they are surviving.
Okay, so, in your own view, in your own analysis, do you think this federal government is serious about diversifying the economy?
Well, I think they are doing their best, but their best is not good enough.
But their best is not good enough. Then another story I would like us to look at on the front page of the Daily Times is the issue of child demands. I think day before yesterday we saw them protesting in Abuja, destroying cars at the House of Representatives, at the National Assembly. And you know what it means. The only indication of democracy being pushed that way. And someone said that when this was happening, that the federal government must have to do something if they don't want another emergence of Boko Haram, of another terror group. How do we get around this?
I think the only way out of that shite demand is for federal government to release El Zazaki. Because many courts in the land have granted him release, have granted him bail. So allow the man to go home. And he can still face trial from home. But detaining the man perpetually is not good. You see, if you remember how Boko Haram started, it was just the same measure, the same thing, the same way. When Yusufia, the founder, was detained and the police killed him in detention, his members now scattered and went to arm themselves. And we have Boko Haram today. The best way for the federal government, let them release this man before they cause more dangers. Because if you see these men protesting in Abuja, they come in good numbers. The man has followers. And this number of followers are young men that could carry arms any day and begin to attack people. The invasion of the National Assembly, like if the video clip we watched, if you see how it happened, you say whatever these people are demanding, it should be given to them.
Okay.
Yes.
It should be given to them, and certainly you are saying there's no justification for holding
them. There is none at all, because the courts of the land
have already said so.
Granted him bails. Not one court, not two courts. Even the DSS has said we are not holding him, and yet he's still in their custody. There was a time it was rumored that the man is dead. I think that was about 2 years ago. What DSS did was to bring the man to show to Nigerians that he's still alive, the man and his wife. But at the end of the day, you still hold this man, in spite of the court bails and so on. I don't think it is fair. We are talking about democracy. We are talking about rule of law. We are talking about freedom of human rights.
Freedom of human rights. Okay, let's run to the next paper now. And on the front page of the Nation newspaper now, on the front page of the Nation, we have Mohammed Fashola Onu set to regain cabinet seats as Kachiku Arebeshola Adebayo Ambode likely to join. Ex-ministers likely to return. Let me just take them here. Abubakar Malami, Attorney General or Justice Minister, Adamu Education, Hadi Sirika Aviation, Zainab Ahmed Finance, Aisha Abubakar Women Affairs, Lai Muhammad Information, Babatunde Fachola Works, Power and Housing, Rotimi Amechi Transportation. We have Suleiman Adamu Kazaure Water Resources, Dr. Bonaya Ono, Science and Technology, and Solomon Dalong, Sports and Youth Development. NJC to Buhari confirm Mohammed as CJN as clerk or show backlash over restructuring. Those are the major stories that we have on the front page of the Nation. We also saw the story there, Buhari hails Super Eagles as team zooms to semi-final. Those are the major stories that we have there. And on the front page of the Punch, Senate fumes as number of Nigerians murdered in South Africa rises to 127. Federal government monitor CIN Deputy Director's death probe in South Africa. Eagles shoot down Bafana 2-1 to reach AFCON semi-finals. What was your message to the Eagles yesterday?
It's just congratulations.
Okay.
I think they performed very well. There's an improvement in their level of performance.
So, an improvement. Do you think these guys have any chances of lifting the AFCON?
Football is a game you really can never predict, but we just wish them well.
All right, we wish them well. But finally, I just want us to look at the story of the people that might be making the lists, the senatorial lists. The ministerial lists.
Honestly, I will tell you, if these names that are called now are the names the president will submit as ministers, then it's unfortunate. Because what it means that we don't have people in this country. These men and these names that we are called, they were there in the last 4 years and they have not performed wonders. So there's no point retaining them. The power sector, for instance, like Fashola, the power sector has not improved beyond what we have had earlier. And the man, I remember when he was governor, when he said that any responsible government will fix power problem in 6 months. But he has been there for 4 years. He couldn't fix it. Not our roads has he done very well. Not the housing sector. So where has he done well? In these 3 ministries that we are giving to him. So, the man should not continue. Like Lai Mohammed, I know the president will want to retain him because he is doing a yeoman's job in the information ministry. But Lai Mohammed has done more harm than good in this country because he keeps on feeding Nigerians with half-truths. And that is not how to manage information. If information,
people say that propaganda is part of government.
No,
it happens anywhere, even at state level.
It's not at all times. There are times propaganda is required quite well, but there are times Nigerians are required to know the truth. And at that point in time, if you don't tell them the truth, because they are not fools, Nigerians are not fools, they know the truth. So if you come to tell them anything to the contrary, they will look at you as a man who is not doing the correct thing, and you are doing a disservice to whoever that is your master.
But there are still some arguments. Some people will still argue that when these people are returned, there will be a semblance of sustenance, of continuity, of sustaining policies. Don't you hold the same argument?
No, I don't. They should go and tell it to the birds. You see, we keep on trying new hands because if a man is not doing well and you want to keep him there to improve, at the time he has run out of an idea. You don't expect him to perform magic because what he's doing has gone beyond his knowledge.
Okay, let me take you on this. That will be our finals for this morning. From the APC. Let's take, for example, from the APC. If you are told to suggest another person that will do better in power housing to replace Fashola, what would be your suggestion?
There are many good politicians in APC. I don't know their names.
Okay.
But Fashola has not been a wonderful man. He was a success story in Lagos, fine. But in this ministry, particular ministry,
I want you to mention names.
What?
Suggest. If you are to advise Mr. President.
No, he asked me, and I don't know. I might want to tell
Okay, what about information?
Information. The good number of people as well. Let him take his special advisor on media to information.
Are you serious? Additional. Don't you think additional is also serving half-truths?
No, additional is a professional in information management. Remember, he was an editor of the Vanguard.
But some people will still argue he didn't do well as special advisor.
No, if you watch the way the man does his work, you say he has been very, very robust. He has not been just coming out to insult people. Rather, he has been more professional than any other person.
Okay, even better than Garba-Shehu.
Garba-Shehu is an attack dog.
All right, thank you, Mr. Paulson Okeke, for joining us to review the papers this morning. Paulson Okeke is a public affairs journalist, if I should put it that way, and also information management manager. Maybe I will suggest him for Minister of Information.
Thank you
All right,
so much.
that's how our run on review the papers this morning. Stay with us as we look at our theme for the day.